Let's come back to France now, where the president of China is wrapping up his state visit this Tuesday. Xi Jinping is in the Pyrenees Mountains today, where Emmanuel Macron spent part of his childhood growing up. That's where his grandmother is from. Now, this meeting has been dubbed a more personal moment for the two leaders after they had a day of talks yesterday. And we're going to go over all that now with James Andre, who joins me on the set. James, today, a more personal moment between the two men. What can we expect?
Yes, exactly, Jeannie. Well, what we're expecting is, and the program is actually a little bit late because lunch was supposed to be at 1 p.m. But still, yes, the two men are going to go up to the top of the Col du Tourmalet, which is well known due to the famous bike race, the Tour de France. And there they will eat at one of Emmanuel Macron's friends' restaurants. His name is Eric Abadie. The two men have known each other for a long time. Emmanuel Macron used to go on holiday in the region when he was a child, and Eric Abadie is known the president for years. There, they will be having a local lunch, so there will be blueberry pie. There will also be one of the best hams in the world, because those are the specialties around there. They'll be eating also lamb and beans. But in any case, the point really is for both men to spend time together, to be able to have a chat without all the very heavy protocol that always surrounds Xi Jinping and Emmanuel Macron as well, for that matter. But the idea is very much for them to be able to speak to each other for a few hours. And what Emmanuel Macron is really aiming to do, this is what we've been told at the Élysée, is to hammer home the fact that for France and for Europe, what's happening in Ukraine is a matter of national security, and that they will not be backing down. That basically Europe and France are committed to back Ukraine for as long as it takes, and basically get this idea into Xi Jinping's mind that if he backs Russia, well, he will be backing the losing end of that battle. This is important. Why? Because Xi is very close to Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is actually going to be visiting Xi soon in the weeks to come. And, well, Xi also holds some clout because now China is the first trade partner of Russia. Trade between both countries has risen 25% last year. And what the Europeans want is to avoid that this escalates into China actually providing arms to Russia. Now, Xi Jinping has said yesterday that he would not take that extra step. He also said that he would implement more control on companies who are, according to the Europeans, dodging sanctions. That means sending into Russia products that can be used on the battlefield, such as drones, such as detection equipment, but also things like machine tools that are used to produce weapons.
James, here's more of what Emmanuel Macron had to say yesterday after that first day of talks with Xi Jinping.
China and Russia, as well as the efforts that have been made over decades to stabilize this relationship. In view of this complex history, we welcome China's commitment to refraining from selling any arms or providing any aid to Moscow, and to strictly controlling the export of dual-use goods.
Emmanuel Macron, they're talking after that first day of talks with the Chinese president. A lot of talk about Ukraine yesterday, but also a lot of talk about trade.
Yes, absolutely, trade. And as you know, yesterday kicked off with a trilateral meeting. Ursula von der Leyen was there representing Europe. The point, obviously, for Emmanuel Macron was to make it very clear that this is a united front. It's France and Europe together talking to China, and one objective is to try and achieve a level playing field when it comes to trade between the two blocs, Europe and China. And in fact, indeed, for Ursula von der Leyen, well, there is a very, very big unbalance, and there is a very big problem because of surplus production as China's economy is slowing down, surplus production of electric vehicles and steel, which according to the President of the European Commission is flooding EU markets and threatening the European industry. Now, the point was to try and indeed make it very clear to Xi Jinping that there needs to be balance when it comes to access to markets, that there cannot be state-subsidized dumping on the European market. And it does appear, though, that, well, Xi Jinping, if there were some memorandums that were signed and some deals that were closed yesterday, around 16 contracts were actually signed, some about agriculture, some about electric vehicles also, it does appear that, yes, this trade tit for tat, argument is still carrying on, though there have been some advances on the French front. For example, the Chinese had started an investigation about brandy, cognac, the famous French cognac, that was, quite squarely aimed at France, if you consider that that's 70,000 direct and indirect jobs in France. Well, indeed, it appears that the Élysée managed to achieve that these temporary sanctions that were supposed to be slapped on will not be, but it doesn't seem that the actual broader fight when it comes to that specific topics has been solved. But yes, yesterday, Bruno Le Maire, the French economy minister, was saying that, yes, the unbalance in favor of China when it comes to trade between France and China is 46 billion euros. And obviously, he'd like to see that change. The last detail is that France has also made it very clear that it would welcome factories by Chinese companies to produce electric vehicles or batteries, though they would like that to be cutting edge. For now, nothing signed, but it appears that there is a project that's being looking at in northern France.
All right, James, thanks for that. And as you were speaking, we were seeing there's some pictures from the Pyrenees where the French president and the Chinese president and their spouses were taking a look at some local dancers there in the Pyrenees Mountains happening right now.